So today we'll be talking about creating explicit formulas from word problems. So here we have a sample word problem similar to one that you'll see in Schoology. Hint, hint, wink, wink. If you take this example now, it's a free question on the problem set. A new pet store is opened. The store has 7 dogs the first month. Beginning the second month, the owner of the pet store have a goal to quadruple the number of dogs every month. Determine an explicit formula for f of n, the number of dogs that owners have a goal of getting n weeks after the pet store has opened. Well, what exactly is it asking us for? Well, it wants to know week 1, we'll call this week 1, how many dogs are there? There's 7. Week 2, how many dogs will there be? Well, they want to quadruple it, right? What does quadruple mean? It means 4 times. Well, 7 times 4 is 28. So the second week, they want to have 28. And then week 3, how many do they want to have? Well, they want to have 28 times 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 3 is 11. So they'll have 112 week 3. So that's what it's asking for, is what formula gives us these answers. And it wants it to be explicit. Explicit means you plug in the week number and you get out the number of dogs. It's explicit. Input is week number, output is number of dogs. And this will be important because in a future lesson we'll do a separate type of formula. So make sure that you understand this is explicit. That's why I've boxed it here and I've underlined it here, because that's a key word you're going to want to look for when you read these problems. So you have an explicit formula, and essentially what that means is for f of n, so the number of dogs is going to be equal to some value that's being multiplied. Well, that sounds exactly like a geometric series, doesn't it? Sorry, sequence. That sounds just like a geometric sequence. So if you remember geometric sequences, f of n was equal to the first value, right? The first value, so f of 1, times however much it's growing by. We'll call that the rate of growth to the n minus 1. So based on this idea that we've already covered in the geometric sequence lesson, we know that f of 1 is 7. That's our output the first week. 7 dogs is what we're starting with. Then our rate, it tells us right here, is quadrupling. It's times 4. So 7 times 4 to the n minus 1 is our explicit formula. And when you type it into Schoology, you'll type in 7 parentheses 4, caret, that gives you the exponent, parentheses n minus 1. Then you'll close that parentheses, and you'll close this parentheses over here. So that's what I'm typing into Schoology right there. Let's go ahead and make a couple of changes to this problem, and let's try it again. So if I move down a little bit, I think I can paste it here. Excellent. So now I can say I've got this pet store, and instead of 7 dogs, let's go ahead and just change this number, and we'll say that we have 12 dogs. And let's say that we don't want to quadruple anymore. Let's say that we want to have 18 times as many. So 18 times the number of dogs every month. Well, in this particular scenario, again, I want to figure out what my first term is, and then what is my rate, and then I raise it to the n minus 1 power. Well, here's my first term. Here's my rate. It's 18 times to the n minus 1. So again, I'll type it in Schoology, 12 parentheses 18 caret. Go back and fix that. Caret, parentheses n minus 1, close both parentheses. Let's see if we can do another one. Don't want it right there. Not quite. Perfect. Okay, so again, we'll kind of edit this, and we'll say we don't necessarily want don't necessarily want 7 dogs. We'll go with 5. And we don't necessarily want to quadruple, we want to double. Okay, so we've got 5 dogs, we want to double it. So we know that we need our first output, which is our 5, and then we need to multiply it by our rate. How much are we growing by? We are doubling, so that means times 2 to the n minus 1. So we've got 5 times 2 to the n minus 1, which is the same thing as typing in a Schoology, 5 parentheses 2 caret parentheses n minus 1 parentheses parentheses. So that's the basic idea here. You've seen in 3 examples. If you can find your first output, which it will tell you, and then you can figure out what you're growing by, your rate, which it will also tell you, then you should be able to put together this formula. Good luck.